Everybody, clearing. Okay, so today I'm being drawn to ask what's going on in the feminine and masculine's outer world, sacred, sexual, healing, intimacy world, and cosmic world. So let's begin. And then I'm going to do a connection check-in on all the usual things that I do from the masculine and feminine perspective. So this is going to be for everyone from both perspectives. Let's get into it. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the masculine's outer world? What's going on in the masculine's outer world at this time? Ooh, yeah. We are getting communication, quick communication, change up, different communication coming in. The masculines are behaving differently. They're saying things that have come out of their mouths before they've realized that it's not typical for them. What else? King of Cups. In the reverse, there's a little bit of emotionality, so they're letting the cat out of the bag. I've got a very elderly cat at this house, and it's yowling right outside the door. It definitely wants to come in, but I'm not going to get up because I'm tied to my microphone here. But yeah, masculines are letting some emotions out, or not holding back, not filtering. I heard not necessarily trying to be PC about things. They are saying their piece. Yeah, exactly. They want to be authentic, unconditional love, so they're not so guarded. Yeah, masculines are getting an opportunity to show the world who they really are, what they actually think about things, to offer their genuine opinion on things. That's beautiful, divine masculines. Yeah, so definitely show the world the real you. Let's have a look at what the feminines are experiencing in their outer world at this time. Ooh. 10 of Cups wanted to come out, and Justice. So yeah, it's like their happiness is peekaboo, playing a game of peekaboo. It just went boop and went back in, but Justice in the reverse. So divine feminines are actually clearing a lot of karma or things that are not coming forward towards this ultimate happiness. So there are still some real world circumstances that the feminines are wrapping up. So divine masculines, if you haven't heard from your feminines recently, or they've felt like their energy is pulled in a different direction, or they're distracted, or you're like, why isn't my feminine as present in the energy field as they used to be? This is why. They are tied up with some logistics or some sort of leveling up out of things that are not going forward with them into the higher timelines. Let's see what's going on in the masculine's sexual healing, sensual world. Oh boy, I like so much. Let's see what we get. Temperance, 10 of Feathers, and 4 of Roses. Okay, let's have a look at the guidebook because this deck is a little bit different. Temperance. Keep gently stroking the sexual tension to get your intention. Okay, so divine masculines are kind of dabbling in this connection. They're revisiting, why is this connection so alluring? I just heard. What makes my divine feminine different than other feminine energies? Why is this something that comes and goes? Why does it pop up at certain times? So I always advise the divine feminines to understand what the relevance is when the feminines revisit the energy of the masculine. So divine masculines, this is part of the process. This is how the energetic lessons evolve. So let's see, 10 of Feathers. Actually, I've turned to the 4 of Roses. Let's do that one first. Don't get stuck holding everything. That glowing pleasure of power and possession, it's yours to share when you are ready. when you get ready, actually. So masculines are getting ready to share. They know they don't want to hold back, but they're still like, it's like recon, special ops. It feels like they're investigating what it is about this connection, but it's preparing them to be a little more fearless, a little bit more like, right now they're coming out of this being a risk for some reason. Mostly the risk of the heart, but 10 of feathers. Let's see what else we can see. So masculines are getting ready to not withhold so much. 10 of feathers. The battle has been won. Expect a huge release of pent-up energy in your heart and body. So the masculines are waiting for that rush of knowing that it's time to come back around again. So I just heard for many masculines, they've understood that the sexual pull here, the attraction, the draw, the magnetic pull, is the biggest indicator of when it is conducive to come back together or to experience the next level of stimulation here. And they've noticed that it has been quite different than any other connection that they've had, that they've needed integration periods. And so they're starting to feel it coming back around after an integration period. Okay, what can we see for the feminines in the sensual, intimate, sexual energy here? Oh, 2 of roses. Oh, wait. Oh, the 2 of roses fell on the second bundle. I've only got 1 card for the feminines, and there was a second bundle. So I feel like this is the shared space that the masculines are working on, understanding their energetic pull, their guidance system with the emotions and how they've processed, and when it feels like they should move forward towards something and when it's best to let the energy build. These ones, because the feminine card fell right on it, I'm going to read that this is specific to the divine connections. So we get the Magician, 2 of feathers, and the 4 of shells. So 2 of feathers for the masculines. Aim first for a meeting of minds for your mutual interest. Spooky synchronicity, working on trust and knowing when to trust a hunch. So the masculines are now looking at how there is a meeting of minds here. It's not so different, and they are looking at the uncanny parallels, the mirroring, spooky synchronicity, things that just over time don't add up in a normal 3D kind of assessment. So the masculines are very much understanding this grand love story, this very unique connection that just, you can't make it up. You know, it's all that wild, wacky stuff that happens on this journey when we're in true alignment. And so the masculines are aiming for a meeting of minds. This connection isn't going anywhere, and it keeps coming up. So they are looking for mutual interests, and there are a lot of things, you know, common hobbies, the things that are more alike than different, not the things that put a wedge in. I am being asked to look at the second part. It says an uneasy truce soon to be broken, refusing to decide between 2 approaches. So that's kind of what they are coming out of. The win here, masculines, is to look at the mutual interests and the meeting of the minds, not the at odds. So unity conscious, not segregation, separation mentality. Okay, 4 of shells. In the reverse, time to step out of repeating patterns of pleasure that no longer work for you. So yeah, the masculines don't want to shamefully use the feminines. They don't want to be half-assed. They don't want to be in, sort of. They want all. They don't want to withhold. They don't want to repeat patterns of lust and pleasure that no longer works. So the masculines are outgrowing that. What were the feathers again? Yes, because they want to see the affinity. They don't want to then, you know, do the hot and cold ghosting when they pull back and say, but all these things that won't go right. And then they're out for a while. Okay, the Magician in the reverse. Failing to create something out of nothing. Possible deception, misuse of knowledge, and waning interest. So yeah, they're realizing that this is why they've had waning interest. They haven't been looking at the positives and the connectivity, the unity consciousness. And so now that they're seeing that they could tell a different story about what's going on here, about the affinity, instead of making at odds, they could unify. They are definitely seeing a different opportunity. In the upright, it says, a magician boldly takes matters into her own hands. She's already imagining what she will manifest. Enthusiasm and invigoration, experimenting and reaching for fresh experiences, paying attention to detail, researching and planning to up your game, then making it look easy on the night. So the masculines are understanding that they've been babes in some ways. They have learned they have to up their game in order to excel, to take it to the next level, to have the adventure and new experiences that are truly afforded in this connection. So they now have tasted this next level, real sort of opportunity, and they won't be able to rest without seeing what that's about. It will be one of those regrets in life if they don't allow themselves to go towards it. So the Two of Roses, when we pulled for the feminines, we got Two of Roses regarding those messages that the masculines that just had come through. You are making your game look easy. You understand that interests need not compete when you manage your affairs with care and skill. Right, so this is win-win. Divine feminines know that they can navigate these connections without the heartache, without the segregation, without the negativity. Everybody can have the freedom. And the feminines know that as the masculines desire to explore this, that they can match, they can meet. There's a foundation that's been laid that can allow for more playful navigation and exploration going forward. The feminine's capacity has not been tapped, and the masculines are starting to notice that you, divine feminine, are the one that they could take their cutting edge further with, whether that is in deepening pleasure or new experiences, things that they have always theorized they might want to explore in love and intimate relationships, but have always had in a fantasy bucket, is what I'm just hearing. Like now they know that that's available because you are so masterful, because you are able to meet them in that energy. They actually can see pushing the envelope in these connections, actually, and in a productive, I just heard highly stimulating way. Yeah, so divine feminines have been developing the capacity to hold space for you, divine masculines. Their love is that big. Okay, so let's now see what's going on in the cosmic layer. What is happening for the masculines on a cosmic? Star-seeded, the void we get. Stop, embrace the winter, great cosmic womb. I'm actually going to get a clarifier for that. Let's get one more and see what this is all about. That was easy. Star bathing, light body crystal grid, transmission and activation. So I'm just getting you're meant to spend time looking at stars right now. Alone time, not just doing, like, I just heard bromance activities. Like divine masculines, it's time to really tap in and reconnect to the cosmic vibe. And that does appear to be star bathing at night, looking at the cosmos. Crystal grids. So for those who do play with crystals, you could make crystal grids, but there are star wisdoms waiting to come to you, divine masculines. Embrace winter. So this is also a purification. I'm getting for some masculines, they don't have a lot of options as far as lovers that satisfy anymore. If they have had a lot of options, their black book has been full. That's a dip right now, and nobody's hitting them up. And furthermore, they see their feminine as the one that they could have the most fun with authentically. So the options they do have are losing their appeal. So divine masculines, yes. Allow for this. Spend some time, seek it, ask it. It's good that you're in a void, because that means you are past your known universe and it's time to expand into the next. It looks like you're going to get transmissions and activations, but you just have to open up to it. So this is where you also don't have all the answers, and the new can come to you and pleasantly delight you in a way that you might not see coming when you are all up in ego thinking you know it all. So yeah, open and see what arises. For the feminines, what can we see? Longing for home, homesick for the stars, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. So yeah, divine feminines, right now, you have learned this cosmic stuff. So teach others. I'm just getting divine feminines. It's time to teach. Forge, don't follow. Step out into your leadership with the things that you know. Pave a new path. So major changes happening as the karmic up-leveling, our karmic things are released in the material realm. We saw for the feminines. So be the leader you wish you had. Integrity, compassion, going forward that way, divine feminines. Longing for home. I'm really getting feminines. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change that represents this more cosmic. If you want to see better, do better. Really embody the things that you want to see. No more sloppy energy. No more, the world isn't doing that yet. Completely embody that, feminines. Okay, let's get into the daily reading. So I'm going to stick with the 3D, the material realm, and the cosmic with the Starseed Oracle. So let's do. Thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the twin collective that joins me here? What can we see in the physical realm? What's going on with the counterparts in their conscious mind, in their environments, in their life scenarios? And what is the energetic backstory or velvety texture we can get regarding that? How are the masculines perceiving these energies that we're going to look at? And how are the feminines surfing, navigating, seeing the energies that we're going to be looking at? Okay, 3D, conscious mind about the connections. Princess of Pentacles, Princess of the Echoing Hills. So there's this like small memories, small thoughts of each other, focused, concise, precise remembrance of things that have happened, things that possibly we've interpreted one way in the moment, and now some clarity, some kindness is coming in. So in the 3D, there is this ricochet, echoing kind of energy between the two. Both are thinking of the good times, the good things, smiling for no reason kind of vibe. Both are really looking at this connection as delightful in quirky sort of ways. So a little bit of daydreaming energy here. You know, those moments when you're just sitting there doing nothing, or you're in the shower, on the toilet, you know, those real moments walking down the hall when poof, there they are, they've come to mind. And in the energetic realms, we get Temple of Elevated Senses, impeccability, advancement, and loftiness, 66. So this is a desire to get up out of the constraints, the lower vibrational interpretations of the material realm. We're focusing on what really matters, this kindness embodied, and that is because of this energetic purity. It's like there's been a critical mass reached in the energetic realms where the glass is now more always half full rather than half empty. We saw that with the masculine. So this is really beautiful. So feminines, you've been, you know, anchoring your worthiness to know that you are worth being loved so much. And masculines, you are not looking at the at odds energy so much. You're looking at what is unifying between the two and where the compatibility, the meeting of the minds is, the things you do have in common. What are the masculines experiencing? The world, yes. Okay, so they are seeing, what I just heard is they're seeing how you, Divine Feminine, would fit into their world in really simple, sweet, effortless ways. Ways that, you know, spooky action at a distance. Ways that emerge naturally without them even having to try. They see how you would fit in. Like, I just heard that some of them, they were not with you in a social setting, and there was a need arise or a curiosity, and you were the first person. I'm hearing that somebody else brought you up as you would have been the one that would have known that answer or been the perfect fit in that scenario. And the masculine, your Divine Masculine, realized they were not wrong. You were actually the perfect puzzle piece that would have complemented the scenario perfectly. So yeah, what an amazing analogy there. For the feminines, how are the feminines looking at this? They feel a new beginning coming where there can be a shared experience. So the feminines feel the pull to be in those social settings, to be right there in the group, to be with the divine counterpart, to be that puzzle piece that fits in. They're feeling that it's that two peas in a pod, the perfection, the impeccable, the advancement, the loftiness. It's like it's being pulled. The feminines feel like they're elevating to that level of, and it's not an egoic hierarchy, it's more the manifestation is becoming more real. And so the feminines are feeling like it's going to be pulling them into the physical proximity with their masculines. They can sense it. What are the thoughts of each other? King of Swords, Prince of the Chariots of the Winds. So the winds of change. It does feel like there's more awareness of each counterpart. There are things coming in, like this is the meeting of the mind's energy. The King of Swords is precision thinking. It's accurate thinking. It is the applicable. It is the practical application of things, the utmost of beneficial application of certain things. It's the solutions. It's judge, jury, lawyers, accountants as well. So things are making sense. You know, I was just mowing lawn on the farm where I'm hanging out right now, and it came to me that when I was actually thinking of somebody, my counterpart, and thinking about things in the industry that the counterpart is in, and that I'm sure that he's thought that it might be worthy to have somebody from that industry as a partner. But then it was like a telepathic communication saying, well, wouldn't it be more beneficial that if you have a meeting of the minds with somebody outside the industry, that there can be this ebb and flow and a teamwork rather than both being affected adversely, or, you know, it's a bit of a diversification. We don't need to always just stick with what we know as the true affinity. The meeting of the minds can complement and be even more acute than if it's same. So it's same but different. And so what an interesting thing. And look at that, psychic vision, hidden meanings, and dream reading. So it's a little bit more of an abstract association between counterparts that are highlighted here with the King of Swords. It's like very Aquarius, Libra, Gemini kind of stuff here, with this kind of intangible logic coming in, and then the omens and these abstractions that actually make a lot of energetic sense. So I'm feeling an alchemy about the counterparts and how teamwork actually makes a little bit more sense through sharing of different paradigms. How are the masculines experiencing this? Two of Pentacles. They are juggling two kind of paradigms, and one is clearly the sun rising up here. So there's something dawning on them, coming into more of a focus, that they don't, these things are not, it's funny, Steve's Love Tarot is always pointing out that this looks like her butt's on the front. She doesn't know if she's coming or going, which is interesting because the masculines are between two worlds. And I think we're just touching on, where does the feminine fit into their world? Does it make sense to seemingly come from two different paradigms or two different worlds? And so it's dawning on them that this is possibly an answer to taking their lives higher, or actually being more secure or abundant for the long road, because of the diversification here. So there's something changing up about that. I need to emulate what I have been familiar with growing up. I can branch out and we can be extraordinary in a new way. The feminines, Queen of Cups, there's that psychic intuitive. So feminines, you are loving yourself unconditionally, and these kinds of pluses, when you know your worth, you start to see things in those magical ways, that you add value, that you are a prize, that you are a choice, and not in an egoic way, but you have a contribution worthy of contributing, instead of, you know, I wonder if I'm good enough, I wonder if I could add value. Feminines, there is this deep knowing of what you bring to the table, of the essence of your particular soul print, and what that can add in here. Everybody's going to be getting, with the psychic intuitive stuff, everybody's going to be getting this aha moment of how it could work in a way that individuals haven't necessarily seen yet. What are the heart space vibes in the connection, for the connections at this time? The Chariot in the reverse, Lord of the Triumph of Light. So this is the awareness of the energetic reason, rhyme and reason. There's information being gathered, is what I'm getting, about this energetic compatibility. And then we have dimensional planes of perception, number 2, portals, possibilities, and options. Yeah, so things aren't moving forward right now because there's an up-leveling of this next level kind of potential that can come in with the diversification. It's like there's an expanded consciousness because there's such a unifying motion between the twins, and then this extraordinary skill set that can be augmented between. It's a broader spectrum of understanding and perspective, the masculine, feminine, complementary angles of living. It's a larger than mundane life sort of access. So, wow, these are very progressive awarenesses coming in today. How are the masculines feeling this opening on the heart space? Yeah, they're starting to invest in this. They are taking it slow, not on this horse, but walking. But there are these new kind of daydreamy sort of potentials that the masculines are seeding into this reality as they're sort of meandering, or I'm just getting that some of them, wow, earthing, there's bare feet on the ground there. But spending time outdoors in nature, slowing down a little, not running. Wow, I just heard not running, not trying to avoid or dismiss or escape themselves and keep busy. I'm getting that they're actually chilling, but maybe not chilling like held up in their room or, you know, watching TV or video gaming. That was a little bit of a theme lately, you masculines, video gaming a little bit recently. I'm feeling that they're out and doing a little bit more, but that they are seeding new ideas in their wake right now. Like they're running through possibilities, not so much staying in the status quo. And feminines, 3 of Pentacles, so physical realm opportunities. I just heard here is this sword. I'm getting that feminines, you're going to have some financial ability to start moving your life forward in new ways. So this can be homes, careers, ideas with whatever the karmic cleanup is. There might be some money for some to start investing in new ways, starting projects, purchases. Obviously, don't do that just because you've heard something here, but if it resonates, it's been on your radar, it feels like you're learning more about how to make choices based on this triumph of light. So that's really beautiful. Okay, what can we see on the heart space for the twins? Ace of Wands, here's the purpose, the ignition of purpose, Lord of the root of the power of fire. So this is the inspiration that is a self-perpetuating, or what is that, perpetual motion machine. When we have our hearts in the right place, when we're in alignment, we don't dip in energy for too long. We rest, of course, but this is the galactic fire that fuels progress and change and adventure and fun and bliss. So yes, on the heart space, there is this ignition of purpose coming in. I'm seeing it here where the masculines are understanding that just because you're from different paradigms or approaches does not mean that it won't be some dynamite, inspired, progressive union here. Wow, Chamber of Communication, Correspondence, Declaration, and Telepathy. So there is some mega telepathy going on the heart space here between the counterparts regarding purpose and this augmented energy coming in. That's phenomenal. How are the masculines consciously looking at this? Yes, the sovereignty. This is the autonomy card. So they're seeing what they have to bring is extraordinary. What you have to bring is extraordinary. And this spiritual falconry is this telepathic thing going between. They are seeing how it can work together, how you have been self-realized divine feminine or are in the process of that, and how it works together, how that complements. What are the masculine or the feminine seeing? The Page of Pentacles. So this kindness, I'm getting worthiness, like a pep talk, feminines, that you're really seeing. And you know, when you understand what you bring to the table and it is populated across the connection through telepathy, good job, because that is causing the masculines to actually see how it could work together. Instead of you thinking, I wonder if they love me, if they're going to see me, if they understand, because you're practicing self-love and kindness. You're like, wait a second, I'm awesome in this regard. Wow, I've worked hard to get to this place. My spirituality isn't overwhelming in an off-putting way. It's actually really amazing that I have focused on this, and now I'm working miracles in broad daylight. Haha. So, you know, some things, that was a personal one if you couldn't tell. It's not necessarily projection. I was just adding it in there because that's one that has, you know, in my line of work, come up in my life, the black sheep of the family. Like, you know, when people are tuning into their emotions, it can be a little bit too much for many people. It activates, but that can give an old soul a little bit of a pause. Okay, so what can we see for manifestation in the connections? Nine of Wands, putting down. So Lord of great strength, putting down the burden, putting down the guarded. For manifestations, it's like that's the wounded warrior, the wounded healer archetype. And so when we have it in the reverse, it's dropping the guard. It's like now allowing, becoming receptive, embodying. Instead of being guarded or triggered, it's just a calming. There's peace coming in. Seal of Venus, elemental magic, self-love, and protection. So yeah, it's safe. I'm just hearing it's safe to just relax in this new energy, the becoming on the planet. These things that we've known. It's funny that I just did my little rant about the black sheep of the family kind of energy, because there is a guard that gets put there when people are very intuitive, you know, out of the mouth of babes. I feel like a lot of children have their intuition intact, and people around them sometimes don't embrace what they're actually saying because they're children. And so I do see that it's safe for everybody to allow that inner knowing to come through unguarded, in safety, with protection here. The energies at large are shifting and are more are affording us more safety with this. It is our own protection that we come up through having ulterior motives or agendas, and we are just full heart led living, and more people are doing that, so it's becoming safer. The good times are coming, I just heard, are here actually. How are the masculines seeing this? So they are noticing that this heaven on earth can be spotted a lot more frequently than they thought. So for many masculines, I'm getting that they have not wanted to appear too emasculated by believing in this kind of thing, but they're starting to see how practical and how happy, how fulfilled they could be to include a little bit more of this safe, spiritual, la la land kind of energy in workable ways. I just heard they started to realize how successful you've become legitimately by being somebody that keeps believing the best, that doesn't lose hope, that does keep going, and that does not sit with the paradigm that this stuff is BS, that positivity and energetics and spiritually led living or heart-based, let's just take all that other stuff out, heart-centered living, there's merit to it. The masculines are seeing that there is a lot of value in that kind of intuitive, open-hearted, unguarded living, that spring flower kind of energy, feminines. Queen of Swords for divine feminines. So yes, you've seen how this energy works and you're sticking to it. You've tried the ways of the world. You've tried the pessimistic, cautionary ways, and it does not sit right with you, divine feminine. And so yes, you are qualified to have won this. You have gone through the shadow work I just heard, and you have come out as this transcended feminine energy. And so now your reality is going to be reflecting that more so than ever. And your masculine is starting to get behind it in a way that they haven't been open to in the past. What can we see for the actions that are being inspired? Well, Three of Pentacles, physical realm connection here. So I was going to say between the twins. So this is teamwork in the physical, and in the energetic realms we get subatomic velocitor, so quantum things, acceleration, stimulation, and excitation. There is a motion behind the scenes to bring the counterparts into the physical in some regard, to team up this life purpose, this alchemy, the masculine and feminine collaboration here. How are the masculines? Oh, it's really making them love you. They're really finally seeing it's clicking, how this connection can work in the physical. That'll be different for every alignment, but they are falling in love even more deeply with how, I'm even hearing with the nature of reality, with the benevolence of life, with source energy, for manifesting these kinds of connections that were so perfect. They didn't see how perfect because they weren't used to seeing things in this way, and it's really coming to light here how they could not have invented a connection more well suited, more perfect, now that they are of a developmental stage where they can see these ways your connection could work together. They are just sort of in awe, is what I'm getting here, as they start to see with more clarity the ways that the diversity in your connection could actually work together. It's like I'm just seeing them jumping up and down and, you know, clicking their heels off to the side. That's fun. Divine feminines, the Empress here, the abundance. So for some, there is a little bit more of a self-made energy that needs to still come in. So that is asset division and divorces and new jobs and living situation. There are still things feminines need to finalize in order to be fully sovereign and free and clear to pursue in all their glory. Some, it's a money story reboot and allowing for you to know that there's no need for you to have a knight in shining armor that's going to come in and like choose you and own you and provide for you. There is this embodiment of your own mastery coming in. So for some watching, this is not about being rescued by somebody. There might be some aspects of the twin flame karmic wheel that include that kind of polarity. I'm sure there are. For those few, awesome. Don't take what I just said as a criticism, because that's not your angle of the karmic wheel. But for many, this is the empowerment of the feminine in the ways of having your own needs met, because you have stopped looking outside of yourself in a depleted way to fill a void. You are such a creator being, a goddess, God, self being. And so if you rush forward without this part of the journey, you won't have that confidence and worthiness that you would otherwise have in finding your own way through your life lessons and coming into the mastery of those. What's the biggest challenge in the connection at this time? 10 of Wands, Lord of Oppression in the reverse, putting down the oppression, replenishment, renewal, and restoration. So this is going to be a bit of a rest period, a recovery, a recuperation, replenishment. This card is interesting because these energy ports often will remind me of the way that our auras are rubbed sort of raw by circumstances and karmic connections. This is after the karmic disconnect, and we're getting this energetic seal coming back in, so we don't have Swiss cheese auras. And that is releasing oppressive contracts and collaborations, things that took energy, or the imbalanced things. So there needs to be some healing coming in. This is the challenge, is we're not necessarily ready yet to meet as the new ascended versions, that there is still some very deep, soulful restoration to the self, to all of our auras, unhooking, purifying. We're still in a motion of purification. How is this affecting the masculines? They're still feeling blocked energetically from coming forward to these connections fully. And so there's a need to just spend time alone, divine masculines, purifying, looking at your own truth, seeing how your truth and your feminine's truth are not at odds, but that they are two sides of the same sword. And feminines, warrior of swords, so not communicating to the masculines right now, resisting that, just allowing your healing, the restoration of your aura to take root, especially if you're leaving karmic situations and you need to recoup your resources, your energy right now. And to just process that everybody's coming out of oppressive situations, distressing situations, even if we haven't seen it before. So what can we see for the solution for this? Queen of Pentacles, Queen of the Thrones of Earth. So this is in the inverse. This is deep nurture of self right now. We were already getting those messages. And universal attunement, repatterning, and guidance. Everybody is meant to go higher, to source, starbathing, looking up to the cosmos, stepping outside of ourselves, asking for more of that unified energy, the win-win, the positive, the glass half full. So right now we're meant to be nurturing ourselves and repatterning towards the light, repatterning towards the solutions, repatterning towards the loving interpretations, repatterning towards seeing that loving angle that leads us through the confusion. Masculines, divine feminine shows up. What do we see when the fog clears? Divine feminine going, haha. And for the masculine, or for the feminines, The Page of Swords. So again, being curious, Divine Feminines, how you can nurture yourself right now and how you can attune to knowing what makes you happy. Not the things that would make you happy if your masculine gave them to you, but really understanding why the things that make you happy right now. So that you can communicate those things as your needs, so that your masculine can make you happy because you know what makes you happy and you can ask for those. It's not needy if we know what delights us and we can express that. It's needy in some ways to expect that the person can read our mind, and if they don't, that they are not loving us. So Divine Feminines, yes, get ready to know yourself, because you're going to get an opportunity to let your counterpart know how they can please you, and that is darn fine. That is a nice energy, because they are sights on you and what makes you happy right now. So you better know that about yourself, so there can be success here. Oh, what's the direction of the connections in the near future? Lord of the wild and fertile land. The Knight of Pentacles. So we did see the Knight of Pentacles for the masculines, where those seeds were being planted as they were slowing down and really looking at the potentiality here. So some of those communications, some of those ideas, some of those opportunities look like they could be discussed here. Adventure, exploration, and discovery. We also got the sexual exploration and discovery with the Erotic Tarot cards for the masculines. So two of the masculine cards here in the direction of the connection. So it looks like the Divine Masculines want to discover and explore the connection physically a little bit more here, and talk about some of the ideas that they are coming to, and see where you stand with those feminines. What a refreshing, beautiful energy. For the masculines, they want to start small. Page of Pentacles. This is another repeating card. So this is talking about that echoing, the Princess of the Echoing Hills that we got to begin with. This is bouncing ideas off of each other and seeing where the affinity, affiliation, the same but different can be accessed here. Wow. So I love the Page of Pentacles for open communication, because it's not the King and Queen where we're possibly too ego aligned with a particular paradigm or angle of approach, that there isn't room for the other person's input. And so yes, masculines, I've had a few messages here in the last little bit about feminines knowing your side of it, so you can openly, without fear, express that. And masculines coming in to have physical conversations about what can be possible here. Feminines, we're getting a meditation. So definitely feminines, meditate on these things. Meditate on your ideas. Look at what you are being inspired to conceive of. What is populating in your secret inner garden right now? Because it does look like that could be shared telepathically with the masculines in new and unusual ways that can take these connections into the life purpose arena and start new ways of life, collaborative new ways of life that have been outside of the realm of possibility, because we've been seeing how these connections are different than we've ever noticed. So it's taken some time to come around to what true unity is, what unity consciousness is, so that we can learn to work with these energies and be innovative. We're such creatures of habit, and so it seems as though we're rewriting those paradigms where we emulate what already exists, and it's taken a little bit of time to skirt and find those new ways of doing the stuff. So many blessings, everyone. This is a very innovative, kind of encouraging thing. So yes, divine counterparts are tapped into source, and that is where we get our information from. Higher downloads, transmissions. We're not necessarily just, going to reinvent the wheel here from an earthly perspective. Much love, and bye for now.